Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Download. I'm Anna Francesca Celestino.
And I'm Simone Butler.
And we are excited to be together this month to talk about the December 2015 Cosmic Download. There's so much stuff going on, lots of things continuing from last month, and a lot of things we really feel are important for you to have the heads up on for this month. But before we even start into that, we were having a great time talking about what's coming, and so we decided to offer a 2016 Cosmic Download. So this is going to be a forecast for all of next year. You're going to get a whole preview on what the year is going to look like. We're offering this package for just $47. It's going to be an hour of really fantastic information for you to be able to really get a sense of what your year is going to look like and how you can best use that energy to make the most of next year. Anything you want to add about that, Simone?
I'm totally excited about doing this with you, Anna, because I've so enjoyed our downloads so far, because we spontaneously seem to come up with things every time that both affirms and also surprises both of us. So to actually look at the entire year of 2016 with you in this way, I can't wait to see what we come up with.
Okay, so we should get started on this month. Simone, I think you wanted to go first because you said there were some themes that were carrying on from last month, something to do with Saturn and Neptune. You want to fill us in?
Yes, this Saturn-Neptune square that we talked about last month, which I knew was going to be pretty crunchy. That's kind of putting it lightly in light of what all transpired. In fact, while that square was pretty much exact and the moon was triggering it, was when the bombings in France were occurring. And that was a really terrible time for everyone, of course. But all of us have felt this sense of kind of being between a rock and a hard place under this transit. Now, I don't want to blame planets because Saturn and Neptune are merely indicative of energies that are happening for all of us. However, they do indicate themes. And here are a few strong themes of Saturn and Neptune. Facing things we've been in denial of, working hard to manifest a dream, and being much more attentive to what we hold dear. So for me, this is manifested as a health crisis occurring right at the same time as a book proposal was due. Talk about a crunch. And so I've been working through that, and I got the book proposal off on time. I'm still dealing with the health situation, but it's about much greater self-awareness and taking better care of myself, paying closer attention to things that I'm doing health-wise. So that's the big theme. And although the Saturn-Neptune square is still in the ethers through the first week of December, essentially, for then, it's done, and then it comes back next year in June and September, and then it's complete. So right now we're coming into the calm after the storm, you could say, and basically then the rest of the month we're in this beautiful Sagittarian energy of travel, of celebration. We've got the Traveler's new moon coming up December 11th, so it's a time to celebrate and basically expand our consciousness.
Well, I think that's great. I think one of the things that you mentioned when we were talking earlier, too, was a lightheartedness, and I really can relate to that. The word that I got for December was joyous. This is a time of being joyous. I'm sort of a nut about the origins of words, so I had to look up joyous. And the origin of that was glad. And to me, glad is to be thankful for what it is. It's like, I'm really glad about this. This is what's happening, and this is what I'm thankful for. So this is a time of that we're coming into a time of lightheartedness and joyousness. But the thing that I wanted to talk about this month that relates to this, how did you put it, being more attentive to what we hold dear. I think that's a really strong theme for this month. I'm looking at this month through numerology. So we're in the last month of this year, and this year is an 8 years. If you look at a 9-year cycle, that 8 is we're close to the end of the cycle. Next year will be the completion of that 9-year cycle. In being more attentive to what you hold dear, I feel like this is a time, this month, to really consider what started 8 years ago, so that would be 2008, what was happening in your life, and then what you've been learning over that time personally, professionally, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, what you've been learning over that time. What has your life been about? So for me, that at that point, my mom had just gotten sick, and we started into a whole cycle of caring for her, so many challenging things, life and death situations. It was a cycle that started for me about love. It was about really putting old things behind me, any frustrations I had or anger about my childhood, all that stuff. I had to just let all of that go and allow myself over that time to have an experience of deepening into love. And so that, I feel, is what this 9-year cycle is about for me. So in this last month of our 8th year, I really encourage everybody to really consider, what has this cycle been about for you? What do you really hold most dear in your life? That's what you're going to find out was the outcome of this cycle. So for me, I could say it was love and connection, and that deep connection, really putting aside all my preferences and really just getting into a deep connection of love and opening my heart and risking. So I'll stop there and see, Simone, if you want to add anything.
Well, the other thing I really want to add is never take life for granted. That is the lesson of this cycle. Realize how good your life is now, just as it is, because guess what? It could be a lot worse, right? But don't focus on how much worse it could be. Realize how good your life is now. And in order to do that, to remind yourself of that every day, well, certainly it's good to write down what you're grateful for, what gives you joy on a daily basis, and I do that every night. However, I'll give you one other activity, which I fully intend to do, which is to make a gratitude collage. And the easiest way to do this is to go on Google Images and print off images of things that you are grateful for. It might be a home. It might be a relationship. And then print off a picture of yourself and make this very simple but joyous collage, and then put it up somewhere where you're going to look at it every day.
I love that. That's awesome. And it's good because I don't get a lot of magazines anymore. I look at a lot of stuff online. So making a collage from the internet, it's a great tip. I appreciate that. So just to sort of recap here, this is a time, like Simone said, of facing the things we're in denial of, working hard to manifest a dream, being more attentive to what you hold dear to yourself, and then celebrating all of that. So this is a time, again, it's sort of a fruition, not quite a completion, but really a time of assessing what you've accomplished, what means something to you, and then letting go of what doesn't and celebrating what does. So I think that's it for us for this month, and we wish you happy holiday season. Again, if you're interested in getting the heads up on 2016, be sure and get in touch with us. We'd love to share that with you. And we'll see you next year.
Bye-bye.